have a really cool 4-star team coming for you guys today. Hey everybody, welcome back to MPQ Mastery, where we help you to destroy more gems. I'm your host, Aloy, and I was super excited to bring you this new team actually I've come up with recently. I've been using it quite a bit. It is so much fun to use, and it wins a lot of the time as well. And it involves the 4-star Gamora, 4-star Nightcrawler, and 4-star Domino. And I'm gonna break this down and how they work together, but first, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at MPQ Mastery. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so you always are alerted when we put up a new video. Let's get into it. It was only by happenstance that I came across this team. It was because Gamora was a required character in a fight, and I kind of just threw 2 people alongside her, and the combo just works really cool. You guys are gonna love this team. So first off, what does each character bring to the table? So first, let's go ahead and go through Nightcrawler's 3 abilities. His purple power, Bamf, is amazing for making lots and lots of matches. And it has 2 effects. The first one is the obvious amazing one, and that's that it finds out what the most prominent color on the board is and creates more tiles of that color, thus making lots of matches. The passive ability there is that it makes him immune to team attacks, so anytime everybody on your team would take damage, he just bamfs away. The red power, On Guard, does damage, and it does more damage if you have a lot of a certain color. You won't really be using it that much in this team up. And then his blue power, called Everywhere at Once, does damage based on how much AP your enemy has. It finds their strongest color, steals some of that AP, and deals a bunch of damage. This power will be used mostly as a backup, because any blue you get, you mostly want to give it to Gamora. But I do want to say before we move on to the next character that Nightcrawler is incredibly well built, so he really makes a good addition to almost any team. So speaking of Gamora, let's go ahead and jump into her 3 powers. The first one is red, and it's called Deadly Strike. It does some damage and also places a tile on the board that does more damage. It's pretty straightforward, but the red AP you get is going to end up going to Domino. The next ability is her black ability called the Deadliest Woman, and this one gets a lot of play in this team. Essentially, she throws a bunch of attack and strike tiles onto the board, purples, and if all of the purples are friendly tiles to you, then at the beginning of the next round, she just eliminates an enemy no matter how much health they have. She's pretty amazing. Her third power is her blue one, Incapacitate, and this one stuns up to 2 enemies, and for each one puts a pink attack or strike tile on the board. So obviously her powers are really synergistic, but you're about to see when we go through Domino's how it all kind of comes together. Okay, going into Domino's 3 powers, she is so cool, probably one of my favorite new characters that they've come out with, so I was happy to find a team for her. The first one is Enter the Fray, and this is where she destroys a ton of non-black tiles from the board. At level 5, where I have it, she destroys 15 at one time. Very cool. She does do damage with this, but does not generate AP. Her second power is red, and it's called Knock 'em Down, and this one is one you will end up using pretty often. What she does is she destroys half of the black tiles on the board and deals damage for each one destroyed. Really cool ability. And her third ability is a black passive ability, and it's pretty simple. At level 5, where I have it, every new tile that drops has a 100% chance of being a black tile. So the combination of her abilities is she makes more black tiles drop. So one of her abilities destroys non-black tiles and the other one destroys black tiles. So there you go. She's pretty simple, and yet she works so well in this group. Let me go into the strategy. So now, talking about team strategy, you can tell just from the makeup that Gamora ends up being pretty much the front person. Domino and Nightcrawler are kind of support, making sure that Gamora can go in there and eliminate the targets. But they have their own fun too, don't you worry. The first thing you want to do going into a battle is you want to start accumulating either purple to activate Nightcrawler's ability, green to activate Domino's ability, or blue to activate Gamora's ability. Whichever one you have the most of, basically you can go ahead and let it go right away. The blue's going to stun whatever enemy you're fighting. The purple is going to allow Nightcrawler to create a whole lot more tiles on the board and make lots of matches. The cool thing about that is because there's a lot of black on the board due to Domino, he's going to make even more black, which will create lots of opportunities for 5 matches and critical tiles, but also soup up Domino's red ability to destroy more black tiles, dealing even more damage to your enemies. And Domino's green ability also helps with that because she destroys non-black tiles, making more drops, making more critical tiles, more 5 matches. It's pretty cool when it gets going. And as soon as you have a lot of black AP, which you will have very quickly, you start launching Gamora's black ability, the Deadliest Woman, and that starts filling up all the purple tiles with attack and strike tiles, which is going to continuously do more and more damage. The cool thing is that now that you have enough blue saved up, you're going to stun your enemies, meaning you have a lot higher chance of eliminating them automatically regardless of how much health they have, because you're going to make sure you have all your purple tiles filled up as purple-friendly tiles over and over, because you will never run out of black. There are some cool things too. Nightcrawler, if you can get more purple on the board than any other color, then he can actually get into a cycle where he just launches his purple power over and over again until the enemy's dead. It's actually pretty cool when you get it going. Domino as well is very cool with all of her abilities. Sometimes I've seen her run the board and eventually handing it off to Nightcrawler, who does some purple and some blue attacks. And in those cases, Gamora is just backup, just putting out those purple friendly tiles to just deal more damage. It's pretty cool how they all kind of interplay with each other. And obviously every team has some drawbacks, and so does this one. One of the main drawbacks is that sometimes you can have so much black and have nothing to do with it. Say all of the purple tiles are filled already, but you keep making more and more black, obviously because of Domino. Although it still does really lead to good 5 and 4 matches, sometimes it can get annoying that you don't have anything to do with all of that AP. It would also make you weak against a character like Nightcrawler or Mordo that does damage based on how much AP you have. Another drawback, and I've said this with a few of my different team-ups, is that none of these 3 characters necessarily have a really high health pool. Nightcrawler is immune to team attacks, which is pretty cool and protects him, but the others aren't, and sometimes they can get taken out pretty quickly if you're going up against a really big enemy. Also, yellow is a dead color on this team, which isn't necessarily that big of a deal, unless the color on the board that's most prominent is yellow, which then kind of makes Nightcrawler's purple ability really kind of annoying to use because you're just going to match a bunch of yellow, and yes, you can get some 4s and 5 matches, you're going to do minimal damage, and it's not going to really generate any AP that you can use. So what did you guys think of this team? Let me know about that down in the comments. Have you tried it out? Is it brand new to you? Well, if it is, go try it out and let me know what you think. Otherwise, don't forget to hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and otherwise, thank you for coming to MPQ Mastery. Go destroy some gems.